We sing the tale of Mar alone. Yo ho, me lads, set sail to brave the curses sevenfold beyond the misty veil. Yo ho ho, beware what lurks below. Yo ho ho, below the shore we go. A mark of black upon our hands. Yo ho, me lads, take heed. We're bound together, salt to sand. With every drop we bleed. Yo ho ho, we'll find what lurks below. Singing yo ho ho, below the shore we go.
Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of Below the Shoreline, a Chance Encounters Dungeons & Dragons mini-campaign. I am your DM. My name is Eric Monroe Schwan, joined again by our beautiful cast. We've got Ian Frost. We've got Asteria.
Hello.
We've got Sam Rutledge. And we've got John Webb.
Hello.
John Webb.
John Webb! I love your name, John.
John Spider-Man Web of
Thank you.
Shadows.
Thank you.
Sorry,
And-
Eric.
No, you're good. That was a good joke. It allowed me to take a sip of water as well. So we're just gonna hop into that recap, baby. No fuss, no muss. Last time on Below the Shoreline, we found ourselves on Marlone Island, a tourist trap on the outskirts of the Empire of Kamino, as its inhabitants and visitors celebrated their annual Winnowing Festival, a harvest festival with a bit of a Halloween meets religious holiday flair. We met our 4 swashbuckling heroes engaged in their various lines of work. Bene Anjaro, swordsman and generally chill dude, helped people get in the festival mood in his capacity as first mate and host aboard the ferry that takes people from the island to the main port of Ushan and back. We saw him catch up with an acquaintance, Assistant Dockmaster Qell Carrington, and his swordmaster, a big Aasimar gentleman named Terrell Whitefall. We followed Calanthe, ex-pirate and current bar brawler, as she led one of her above-board boat tours of the sights of Marlone. There was a minor commotion when her 2 deckhands and platonic boy toys, Chadney and Kyleson, realized that one of your guests was a famous bard named Sammy Scenewise. Qell, chosen warlock and warrior of his patron, the sentient and magical Great Reef of Guardios, attended the festival in his capacity as an ambassador between the dryland culture and his community of Ashakmar, a sea elf-like group of beings who prefer to keep to themselves. Thank you very much. He was debriefed on what was expected from him as a symbol of his community by some of the less approving Ashakmar elders and his own sister. Finally, we met Marius Lucius, a visitor from the coast of the mainland and a reporter for the... Sam, what was the paper again?
I think I had it written down and I can't find all
It's
my
all good.
notes.
The Daily Planet.
The Daily Planet, a notable paper on the mainland. And he interviewed preacher Gerald Bluebond, as well as his acolyte Bryson Beneford, learning that the origins of this harvest festival might be a little bogus. Mayor Calamine Desmond offered to show Marius this makeshift jail setup in order to show how well they keep even their most rowdy of guests, where Marius ran into someone he knew from his grandpappy's temple, Shoebuckle, who is kind of just a permanent resident of this little jail cell to keep him out of trouble. Now, each of our heroes was asked by the mayor to go to the back dock to do a dead of night shift, where everything was going fine until a ghost ship appeared, coming right up to the shore and beckoning them aboard. With mixed sentiments, they boarded, found in the hold below deck a coral door that led down into a plain of completely just water. from which emerged a giant being that pushed them back out of the door, along with maybe a few shadow-like creatures. They fought some horrible, rotten, sea-fallen pirates on a possessed ghost ship, which was being drawn back inexorably towards a wall of fog, which now completely encircles the island, from which emits the sound of ages of crashing waves. Each fighter demonstrated formidable skill, with Marius Lucius surprisingly being particularly well suited at killing creatures from the deep. Under the effects of a water rock spell, they made their way over the waves and back to the shoreline. Each of our players noticing at some point that they now have a tattoo of a black spot on their hands. And that is where we are going to pick up with you guys. What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
I completely forgot about the black spot until
Oh
you
yeah,
said
that's why I
it.
had to bring it back.
Also, what was that word you said? Inexorably?
Inexorably. It
God,
can't be
that's
stopped.
a good word. I like
Yeah.
that word.
It's a good ass word.
Yeah.
We love good words on this show. I
have
will
all
say
the best words. I
it's
know all
true.
the good words.
Benny, something else that you know, you rolled a nat 20 perception check when we were in the hold of the ship, and there was a poem that was on the door that I didn't
Right.
get to give you. But
Right.
as you guys come back to the shoreline, you see in the center of the beach, the door is there. It's now embedded into the sand itself. And you wouldn't have noticed it because the tide has gone so far up because it's like the dead of night, except the water is washing around the door like it doesn't want to touch it.
Mhm.
And so I imagine you go up to the door.
Yeah.
I have the poem. Would you like me to read it or would you like to read it?
You can read it.
Okay. So you go up to this door, and written on its surface, as if carved in, is this sentiment. 7 taken below, 7 sent above. 7 nights until the old tide comes. Curse the land and its mother, curse the pride of the fools. Curse the ground that split waves in two. Hands that open the doors, hands all marked with the spot, the only hands with which the curse can be fought. Then the door will reopen, then lost souls can be saved. Then you may fight God for the grace of the grave. But if the fog's not forced to flee, land will fall back to sea, and below the shoreline, all will be. Now above the writing, you see 7 slashes in the wood, like almost like slashes on a bedpost, but less horny. But you see one of those.
Do people still do this?
No, they don't. But this is olden times where maybe people did that. But you see one of the slashes of the 7 is now glowing a bright golden color. And I'll drop the poem in poem
Okay,
so you guys
thank
can
you.
have
It
it.
looks
I
like
was trying to keep up, and then I was like, nope.
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Yeah, it crossed my mind for a fraction of a second. I was like, he's just gonna send it to us.
Yeah.
stop metagaming, dude.
Was someone about to ask a question?
I was.
Yeah.
What is? So it looks like someone like carved it, like the 7, like I'm assuming like
Notches. Yeah.
notches. Okay.
Roll me like an insight check, I guess.
Okay.
Please.
I have pretty good insight.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, 16.
This looks like it was carved here, but it's probably magical. It was probably just, appeared on the door. And you get the sense that as you accomplish more things, those, 7 notches of gold will fill in one after the other.
Gotcha.
So you guys are back on the shoreline. It's getting fairly close to sunrise. And you guys have all had this really weird experience and now have this foreboding poem. What do y'all want to do? Ian, hit it.
On our way back to the actual shore, I think I mentioned before that Qell is swimming a bit under everyone.
You did, yeah.
When we get closer to the shore, he'll pull ahead and just sort of like dive out back toward land, and as he gets on the shore, he keeps his back to everyone, and he's like he'll glance back for a second to look at Marius, and then he'll look forward again, just back toward the town, just the general direction of the town. And with prestidigitation, the water is just steaming off of him. Ooh. And he is just like power walking. Unless anybody gets in his way, he is like power walking back toward the town.
Time or any time that Qell looks back, Calanthe's like
look back at it. Whoa. So are you guys all heading back towards the town? Yeah.
Well, Benny's like looking at the door and he's just kind of like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, why is this here?
Do you want to try to roll a perception check on that? Or like, I guess it would be Arcana.
Yeah, can I do an Arcana check?
Yeah, definitely.
He rolled an 8.
It's bad. It's not good.
Okay, not good.
It's bad vibes from the store for sure.
Can we all read it?
Yeah, it's not in. It's in like common.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a dog barks.
As a dog barks. But yeah, so you guys start heading back towards town. What do you do when you get there?
I think as we're walking back, Calanthe will just like whip her head towards Marius and be like, Marius, you did really well.
Thank you.
You're quite impressive.
I appreciate it. I practice a little from here and there, but I try my best, I guess. So the thing written down there, this probably talk about us with the hand things, right?
It seems that way. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, maybe so.
Let me buy you a drink. What'll it be? Apple juice, milk, hot cocoa. I don't know what kids drink.
I'll
these
take
days.
a mead, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah,
So the
Marius
children
grew up around a lot of very drunken sailors. It's one of those situations where, alcohol is not considered to be an age-restricted thing where he comes from, at least in the social circles that he grew up in.
Just absolutely wasted children left and right.
Yeah.
The Lost Man.
It's better if you have it in the house with me rather than doing it out there.
That is exactly what Rhubarb would say, actually.
Yeah.
So Calanthe will just like look at him for a second and then let out this barking laugh and be like, "You're more fun than I thought," and clap him on the back, and they'll keep walking.
You love to see friendship forming. So as you guys make your way back to the town, you have to go through. You're going around the island, essentially. It's kind of a long trek. I think you had a carriage actually out here, so maybe you have that and you kind of use the horses to get back. It's about 4 a.m. when you get back to the town. What do you guys do?
Qell does not give a shit. He is going straight for the mayor's estate or wherever he would be.
You go there. So he lives behind the town hall, the town hull. It's just a hull of a ship, hollowed out. He has a little cabin behind there that most of the mayors just tend to live in. You head back there.
Okay. I mean, he'll go as far as he can get without anyone stopping him. Genuinely,
no one's
like
awake. It's the dead of night. People got mad turned up at the festival, so the streets are dead.
So he gets up to the gate, question mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Go through it if it's open.
It's open.
Go up to the door, knock pretty reasonably loud.
Yeah.
Or hit a bell or whatever he's got going on.
You give a little knock knock.
Ooh,
and that Foley. You don't hear anything back.
Wait a second. Do it louder.
Nothing. you want to try to do something to get in?
No.
You want to do a
No.
little breaking and
He'll think
entering?
about it. There'll be a moment
B&E.
where the energy of an Eldritch Blast lights up in his hand,
Oh, whoa.
and he'll just sort of like, okay, so this is a little bit comic booky, but Green
Go for
Lantern
it.
Guy Gardner,
Sure.
also known as the worst Green Lantern,
Shit.
Kyle Rayner has something to say about that.
how dare you? He's the best Green
Oh
Lantern.
no. I think John and
I'll
I are
fight you
both
for that.
way out of our depths in this conversation.
I'm just excited to see where this goes, so I can learn
So
something.
there's a description of Guy Gardner where his Green Lantern ring is like a leaky faucet because his willpower is so strong and ready to fight that his ring is just sparking all the time. So essentially what it looks like is kind of like that, where the Eldritch Blast is like starting to grow in his hand and he's trying to squeeze it down. And it's like, yes, Eldritch Blast. It's like, no, Eldritch Blast. And eventually he just like squeezes it in his palm and he punches the door once really hard. And you just hear him go,
It swings wide open. It wasn't locked. Gonna take a look around inside.
stands at the threshold. Nobody else came here, right?
Did you guys? It's
that-
up to you.
Should we follow the inkwell?
I would have just been following behind like a puppy dog.
Sure, yeah, let's go. I feel like Bene followed suit.
Mhm.
So we definitely get there after that. Maybe we
Yeah.
see that happen from the back, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh.
When you get there, you'll find him just standing in the doorway, staring into it, trying to figure out what to do and just seething. You'll just see like his back muscles are just like up and down.
You see through the door to your left a kitchen area where food is prepared, and on the right kind of a living space. There's a table there, chairs where people sit and drink and have a merry old time. You see a door directly across from you, which you can assume is the bedroom.
Bene sees that the door is open. He's like, well, when a door opens. So he just walks through.
You're gonna try to walk in?
Yeah, Bene just walks in.
He will like armbar at the door frame first to try and keep you from doing that.
He's like, oh, what is this? Do you not want to go in?
I would like to. These
I mean,
not the-
is this your way of telling me you're a vampire? 'Cause I will invite you in. This is not my house, but I'll invite you in.
Still making jokes. Do you
I mean-
see this?
Yeah, you broke the door.
He's pointing to the black yeah.
He's like, I named mine Timmy. It looks cute.
What's a good animal with dogs? Can dogs hear good as well as smell good?
Yeah,
I
they
believe
can.
so.
Okay, I'll turn into a Doberman Pinscher
Ooh, specific.
because I think I still have one left for the day, right? No, do I? I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's the next day technically. You didn't
Okay.
sleep, but whatever. Yeah, so you wild shape into a dog.
Yeah.
Give me an investigation roll. Bene,
Okay.
also give me an investigation roll, but at disadvantage.
Okay.
I don't know what the stats of a Doberman Pinscher would be.
Are you guys actually
So-
like trying to go in still? Or are you doing this
Well,
from outside?
From at the door frame,
Mm.
but like definitely sticking the head in to go sniffy sniffy and listen.
I got a
I-
16.
A disadvantage?
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Forgot it was
Okay.
disadvantage.
I was like, whoa.
Sorry. Wait, let me see.
Would you say that a dog has
Ooh,
advantage on
yes,
like
at six-
smelling checks?
They do because it's keen.
Yeah,
Oh well,
they
they
do.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, they
In
do,
the
yeah,
book
yeah.
they do. In the rules they do.
And I'm down to follow the
Oh.
rules whenever they suit me.
That's very, very good. It's 18. I don't know what the stats for a Doberman are, but with an 18, it's 26 for my normalness.
You clock it first. There's two distinct smells in here in this room. And you see one of them is Calamine Desmond, the mayor. And the second, and I think you notice that at the same moment that Bene kind of clocks it, you smell Terrell Lightfall. And Bene, you see his boots that he always wears, just kind of kicked off to the side near the door.
It's like, Benny's just like, I knew it. I knew it. Benny's just like, I fucking knew it.
But there's a third smell that lies beyond the bedroom door.
Sex.
Yeah,
Sex
right?
is the smell.
Yes.
There's a fourth smell besides sex that lies behind the bedroom door.
Qell will look down. Oh, sorry. No,
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Qell is looking at you guys, sniffing into the doorway, and he'll actually reach back to the door, and after you kind of finish and glean what you glean, he pulls the door. I think maybe he tries to do it quickly, but he can't get it fast enough before you succeeded on that. And he'll try to close it to the best of his ability. And he'll turn back to you and he goes, I thought you had made it quite clear that you were done following me for the evening.
You know, people change. It's 4 a.m. You know, what are you gonna do?
People change. It's 4 a.m. is the best reason for anything.
I think
So you're in the house now, Calanthe, right?
yeah.
Marius, what are you doing? Also, love that background.
Check out the lighthouse from the lighthouse.
Hell yeah.
I would just be listening for anything that sounds off.
Yeah, give me an
Any
investigation
weird
check.
sounds. I'd be very, very, very keen of making sure that nothing pops up out of nowhere and attacks us.
Give me an investigation check just for the hell of it.
Okay.
So I'm inside.
You're
Is
inside,
it
yeah.
completely dark?
Yeah.
Or is it
it's
okay.
I think
I got
there's
a
maybe
17.
Oh, that's pretty good. I think there's maybe the embers of like a stove fire that are kind of lighting the room a little bit.
There's
you
a
hear
smell.
some wind rustle something around the house, and you almost hear like tinkling glass. But Calanthe, yeah, you there doesn't seem to be anything that interesting in this room.
If you go into the house, then I'll sort of grunt and follow you. Except first he'll turn to Marius.
How the turntables.
He'll turn to Marius first and go, stay here out of danger or stay close.
I'll probably here out of danger. It's right here. I'm good.
Wise. And he goes in after Calanthe.
All right, do you guys head over to the bedroom door?
He does for sure.
Okay, gotcha.
Is the fourth out of 5 smells? Is the fourth one familiar? Does it smell?
It's familiar. It smells. I mean, open the door. I imagine Benny is the one that opens the door.
Yeah, Benny opens the door.
You open the door and you see. You've known Mayor Desmond a long time, Benny. You've probably at least been in his house and seen the room from the side.
I mean, a lot.
Yeah. It's distinctly in disarray in the way that a room is when people are just going at it. There's Terrell's clothes on the floor, Calamine's clothes on the floor. Some shit went down in there, but what's definitely out of place is there's a window broken, and the smell that you smell when you come in here is the strongest odor of the sea that you have ever smelled in your life. It's like an you literally live by the sea, so it kind of probably goes to the back of your head a lot of the time, but it's this overwhelming pungence of salt and seaweed and all that.
So no one's in
stuff
here.
that lurks in the deep. No one's in here. If you all want again, you've all rolled really good investigation checks. You see on the windowsill pairs of hands that were kind of clawing to try to stay in the room.
Whoa.
Just like cut off and hang in there?
No. It's as if so. It's like a wooden house, and there's little impressions where
I see,
fingernails
okay.
probably clawed at something.
With my
Ow.
smell-o-vision, I think it's like too much for Calanthe as a dog, and she just like recoils and starts whining because she's trying to keep it because she knows that this is probably her last one for the day, and if they need to track, like, this is good if she's in a dog form, but she's like, it hurts, so she's like whining and trying to back up away from it until we decide what to do.
I will say that there is an oil lantern in here that is almost about to be completely burned out, but hasn't yet. Whatever happened in here feels like it was pretty recent.
Is there the smell of blood? Like, did they get hurt whenever?
No, you don't see any blood. You don't. Let me redact that, actually. I think there's the slightest smell of blood, and maybe you see a little bit of blood on the fingernails as they're leaving. Maybe there's a touch on the windowsill, but this wasn't a bloody affair whenever went on here. This wasn't a full-on battle. You can imagine, they were probably pretty turn up after going to the festival. So who knows if they were even capable of fighting. So yeah, you
Bene sees all of this, and Bene can I actually make a insight check?
Yeah, go for
Okay. I hope I rolled low. This is fine. Yes. Okay. I rolled a 10.
Okay.
So basically, Bene is just kind of like I get it. They had a dope party without me, and this is why the mayor made me go out there and do this on this fucking pier, because these two were having a whole ass party in here without me. Honestly, you think you know someone, you know?
With that insight, you know 1,000% that that's what happened. There's nothing else that could have happened here.
It's just not right.
It's not.
guys.
Are there tracks that continue out the window? Outside?
There are tracks, but it almost looks like an irrigation tunnel thing. It's like a large portion of water glided over the dirt that's immediately there. Or you just see kind of like a wet trail, which is a horrible
and
phrase.
It's going
I
in
regret saying it.
It's going in a direction.
It's going back to the back beach.
Is this a one-story house?
Yes. It's
Okay.
basically those two rooms. It's
So-
pretty sparse.
I was gonna say just throw me out the window, but there's no need. So I'll just go out where Marius is and start following that trail.
Yeah.
I just start
With my
following
dog nose.
Calanthe in dog form.
I will
Okay.
go as well. He's not pleased. He's not pleased. So I was so sure he wasn't gonna initiate it. But he'll come up and just be like, why are you still here?
Oh God, I'm a dog and I don't want to not be a dog because I can't be a dog again. God damn it.
You have another.
If you're still a dog, he might not then. Or he'll say it without expecting a response and continue forward regardless of what you do.
Yeah, I think she'll just.
Just bark at him.
Yeah, just growl and maybe nip at him, but not in that way that dogs do as a warning where it's not full chomping down.
Stop
then
being an asshole.
Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Quell's day is about to get a lot worse.
The tension.
You head back there. I think the horse is already set up. You have to put him away in the stables. You get back on in the carriage. You go back there. You follow that trail all along, and you see to the sides of it, sometimes in the dirt, it's like feet were being dragged across the dirt. So there's that big depression of water, but then there's feet being dragged and then like lifted up again, dragged, lifted up again. And you end up back at the docks. The door is still there, but there's something on top of it now. And you can all give me investigation checks if you want.
One.
Not 20.
Oh shit.
Hey, 16.
8.
Okay.
Too
Well,
angry to use brain.
I think that you're too angry to use brain. That's exactly the words I was about to say.
Too angry to use brain.
You see something on the door, but you don't think of anything of it. Bene, you look at the door and you see the body of an Ashok Mar man lying on it.
Uh-oh.
Mm-mm.
Who are the Ashok again?
They're
Me.
Qell's.
Oh,
people.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Bene like looks and sees it, and then looks to Qell for his reaction. But then
Oh,
just
I rolled
like
a 1, so I hadn't seen it yet.
so yeah, no, he just like Bene just like sees it and is like, I know I didn't do it, but I feel like I'm about to be blamed for this.
Do I see it too, or just Benny?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you got a
Okay.
16, right? Yeah. You
Yeah,
definitely
I
see
think
it.
in the split second before Qell is able to overcome Angie Brain and see it, like Calanthe turns back into Calanthe, looks at Benny, and is like, uh-oh. And then just says, Qell, now, and dives to go get him.
Yeah, so you...
Because it's in the water now, right? Or no, it's still...
Yeah, basically, it's still... I mean,
Okay.
he's... There's water surrounding him, and it's not like when a high tide comes, it gets like super deep. So, I mean, you're wading through water, but you get there. It's, the hardest thing is fighting against the current that's drawing you back. But he's laying over the door, so he's completely dry because the water's not touching the door. You go over there. Who turns him over?
Have I definitely not seen it?
I think you've seen it by now.
Just told
Everyone
you.
is-
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that, yeah.
And then I went to go get him to check to see if he's alive.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't touch him.
So you, I imagine, kneel down and gently turn this man over, and you see your friend Amados, the strapping young Ashok Mar man with his form diminished. He's still breathing. He's definitely still alive, but it looks like he's sustained some hits. There's blood that's kind of seeping out of some wounds along him, like lacerations, as if he's been hit by a really sharp wave of water, like sometimes how you can get kind of fucked up in the ocean. But the most disturbing thing about him is that he looks like he's been drained out of most of his liquid. He looks dry with his face or skin pulled back tight against his skull, the bones of his skeleton poking out, and a spear still in his hand. He definitely was fighting something.
And he is all the way dead.
No. He's still alive. He's breathing.
Oh.
Yeah. He's just, he's very unconscious.
Can I cast Spare the Dying on him?
You can. That would be a great idea.
I was gonna
I do
say
that right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pop one of those.
Calanthe will look at Qell and say, "Let me help."
His breathing eases a little bit, and
Yeah, I
you see
think
some
the
of the
one-
kind of some of the liquid kind of return to him, but he still looks not well.
Yeah, I think going off of that natural one still, I think he fully, like, looking at him, he thinks he's dead. Like, I don't think he catches the breathing until Marius does what he does. And So Qell is very openly crying,
Yeah.
but not in a, I guess not in a human way. It's not like recognizable because the emotion doesn't register as sadness or sorrow necessarily, but it's just leaking out of determination still. So as he's like knelt down over him, trying to pick him up very delicately, I think there's a very gut instinct of like showing sharp teeth when someone comes up. And then when he sees that it's Marius and what he's about to do, I think that's the moment where he'll just sort of stop for a moment and let that happen.
As you watch as this young man who you've just met lays down and saves one of your closest friends' life, you hear in the back of your head Guardios speak to you and say, he went to investigate beings that had fallen into the sea. They were dead. They were these distorted abominations of pirates. But then something overwhelmed him. And I kept trying to push through and make connection with him, but I just couldn't until finally I did. And he woke up and I couldn't see what he was doing, but he was fighting for his life and the life of others. I do not know anymore. I'm sorry.
I thank you for our blessing. But why did they not? I have to take him home now.
So I imagine you depart from there, Qell. Is that right?
Yeah, and he'll turn and he will say thank you to Marius instinctively in Ashok without realizing it. And then turn and just start like sort of fireman carrying his friend to the sea as fast as he can. And he's just going to try to swim him home.
Mm-hmm. How do the rest of you guys react as Qell leaves with this unconscious man?
Calanthe's pissed.
Can I do a like some sort of check, maybe perception, to see if like is there any sort of connection between this dude getting hurt and the door itself, because he was like on top of it?
Yeah. Roll an insight check. If there's something else that's better that you'd prefer to roll.
I just don't know. Really.
Mm-hmm. You could also do investigation.
Okay, not bad. 17.
You're looking down at the door as you're thinking about this, and you look at the two first lines of the poem. 7 taken below, 7 sent above. You think that maybe Amados was meant to be one of the 7 taken below, or he was trying to stop them being taken below.
That means then definitely the mayor and Terrell are 2. So is there 3 notches now?
No, the notches haven't changed at all.
Oh. Are they glowing? Because I think you said
yes,
glow.
there's one glowing. You could roll me another insight check if you want to try to think about what that means.
I mean, it says 7 nights until the old tide comes. This could be the first night.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. But then there's 7 people being taken. So So far, it's the mayor and Terrell. I think we have a Jaws 2 situation on our hands.
I've only seen the first Jaws, so I don't understand, but yes.
I mean, it's just the shark comes back. Like, this time is personal.
Shark 2, more shark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are you guys doing?
Can Bene try opening the door?
Yeah, I won't even make you roll for that. It doesn't open. You can try spells and stuff if you want, but
No. He is a fighter, sir.
That's
He does
fair,
not
sorry.
use Spells. Is there any sort of like indication that like the door, it's like that it has been opened or something? You know what I mean? Like, is there like water coming from it? Like people were dragged into the door, or is there any sort of like leaving? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fair point. There, again, since the water is kind of cascading around the door, at the base of the door, there's kind of a place where it looks like, again, someone's foot kind of dug in, like they were being dragged.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like somebody has gone beyond the door.
Mm-hmm.
Calanthe will iron grip because she can't exactly control her emotions anymore.
Mhm.
The time of controlling emotions has passed. Iron grip on Marius's shoulder, and it's meant to be like good job again, but because she's so mad, it is like, oh. And then hold it there for a second and let go, and then I think she starts like circling the door, and in primordial just being like, what do you want? What are ye? That kind of thing.
You don't hear anything from beyond the door, but again, you look at the door's inscription. Then the door will reopen, or the only hands with which the curses can be fought. Then the door will open. Then lost souls can be saved. Then you may fight the god for the grace of the grave. Door's probably not opening.
Marius is going to take out his spyglass and
Mhm.
he's going to just take a close look at the inscription, and he's going to use detect magic.
Definitely. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I forgot that you don't have to roll for that.
I do not.
It's magical for sure. There's no way this is not magical. This is a curse. I mean, yeah, it's magic.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's in there.
Nailed it. There's
Positive
magic in
reading.
there. It's probably a curse, and only when the requirements of the door are met will it reopen again. You roll me an insight check. I don't want to give you guys too much information, but
Okay.
this probably would be pertinent. And
You don't want to spoil the game?
the following 6 episodes of this campaign? No siree.
Oh, oops. This is that first one. 28.
Jesus Christ.
The magic.
You
man.
think that the only person who can cross or allow people to cross this door's threshold is the person who casts the curse. Otherwise, the door remains completely shut.
Okay. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to find whoever scribbled this on. I think that's our best bet. Whoever did that to the friend, or whoever that was.
Yeah, I wonder who would have a grudge on them, to even get him out of here.
Think about it. One of them is the leader of this little town. One of them is a well-respected member. If you were trying to weaken, you have two options: either take out the crew or take out the captain. Most people take out the captain because they think most crews will run around like chickens with their heads cut off. But I think this is very smart, very intelligent. They knew what they were doing when they took those two.
But then why take Qell's friend? You know? I mean, I know why not Qell, because Quell's not, let's be honest, he's not like, you know. But like, why Qell's friend? You know?
Right.
Well, the question is, was his friend going to be taken, or was his friend defending from the other two being taken? I mean, how do you create further instability? You hurt where it hurts. You hurt people that mean a lot to the person you're trying to.
Who cared for the mayor?
And I think as Calanthe realizes that, what she's saying, she like takes off back to her house to see if Chadney and Kyleson are okay.
Okay. So you guys are heading, I imagine when you see her take off, you all just kind of head back to the tourism district once again. As you guys are traveling, I want to cut back over to Qell really quick to get kind of the reaction at the great gates and Guardios of one of the Ashakmar being injured. But everyone roll me a history check that's walking back to the tourism district.
I definitely am.
Hell yeah.
Oh, not 20.
Oh shit.
Hey!
I have a 1 plus
I got
1.
a 10.
Oh, brutal.
17.
Okay. That makes sense. Bene, you've lived on this island your whole life. You know this.
Right.
Calanthe, you've been there a while. Marius, you've heard this before, but you can't quite place it. But Bene, so distinctly in your mind as you are heading back, the words of the poem that Captain Gwenross Rubichin said as her last words before she was executed kind of ring in your mind. These words that are, in many people's minds, tied to the long way down and your island. The only way to go is down, deeper than the sea, deeper than the deepest drowned and farthest from the free. There lies the finest weapons made by any working hand, but only when the costs near paid can they return to land. Tides will rise and cities fall, mothers unmade terror toll, lest you ignore the ancient call and save the island from the squall. And it just, there's a lot of poems floating around suddenly.
A lot of
and
poems.
You know
Drama.
The drama.
Yeah, it's like y'all, have y'all ever just heard of just prose? Just give me
the concrete
just give me the
information.
written. Like, what's all this esoteric?
But that those were the words said by Gwenross Rubichin before she was executed that were supposed to guide people to the 4 sacred items that she was gifted, some of the finest weapons in the land. We cut over to the great gates of Guardios. Qell, how are you entering?
Quickly.
Yeah.
And with determination. Like, I keep using that word, but he's just kicking his little feet as fast as they go. And in the water, I guess, I don't know, what's the best way to carry a person in the water? Like underwater. Because I don't know if you would still be like this swimming, but maybe like a backpack.
If you're trying to save someone from out of like a river or something, the best is to side swim while you're holding them. So but like fully underwater, I have no idea. So up to you, I guess.
So yeah, you enter from one of the sides of the gates with Amados kind of strapped backpacked onto you.
He's going straight for the healers of the community. Whoever
so
that might be.
You head to kind of the clinic where Perlice, one of the members of the Council of the Coral Keep, is the head.
Okay.
You arrive to this beautiful coral waiting room, I suppose. And you go up to the resident nurse who is waiting there to receive an injured. She looks at Amados on the back. And, Qell? What is
The
happening?
council. Oh wait, yeah, we're speaking Ashok now.
Yeah.
The council took him. They sent him on a mission that should have been. He had no business being there. He was attacked by pollutions, perversions.
Oh, gosh. Okay. She leads you back through a door or a doorway to an observation room. There are jars made of different materials holding different things from the sea, which are used to heal you whenever anybody gets hurt here. And Perlise is the resident healer on duty. She looks at you. She first sees you and goes, Qell. And then she sees on your back. Get him onto the table right now.
So float him over, yeah.
She does various checks his breathing, checks to see his pulse, begins to examine the wounds. She goes, these are cursed wounds. She is absolutely concerned about how drained his body seems of liquid and doesn't seem to really know fully how to accommodate that, but she pieces together some medicine, salves for his body, and tries to feed him certain healing potions. He seems fine, he seems stable. That spell, Spare the Dying, definitely is a massive help, but he's not waking up. What do you do? Well, I think Perlise goes, what happened? How could any Ashokmar end up like this?
I don't know. Yet.
Well, this is Drylander mischief. There's no doubt about it. We will need to call a council meeting in the morning. This cannot stand and things need to be done.
I agree.
She is. People don't get hurt like this in your community. This doesn't happen, especially like magical injuries. This is unthinkable. And you hear Guardios in your head, and Perlise's head as well. I will make sure to keep him safe. But Qell is involved in something larger now. It was not the Council of the Coral Keep that sent Amados to check on what had fallen into the sea. It was I, who was already patrolling and thought it was best. I didn't know what would happen.
I must trust in your judgment. And I turn back to the nurse again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, this is somewhat beyond belief, and I will do my duty here. And he'll walk over to his friend and I think he will stand sort of at his head. And he will put his hands kind of up to his temples and say to him, I promise you, brother, the dead will sleep this night. And if not this night, then the next. And forever thereafter. And he will bend down and kiss him very gently on the forehead. And then he will just storm on out of there, and he's going straight for the Blade Garden.
Okay. As you leave, Burley says to you, I know it may be confusing, but don't ever forget that your duty first and foremost is to your people, to protect your people. You head on out to the Blade Garden. What do you do when you get to the Blade Garden? You arrive. Can you describe the Blade Garden? Because I think you have a better image in your head of what it looks like than I do. It is most certainly a garden of blades.
So it is, and there are also like coral shapes that are vaguely humanoid all around, like empty shells in the outline of people that are left in crumbling pieces, some that are still intact, some heads, some like sort of half hollowed out bodies that like kind of vaguely have the shape of ribs open, almost weirdly like coral Iron Maidens in a way, but in coffin formation. And there are ancient weapons that are propped up like headstones growing up out of the ground around these areas. And he will head straight to one in particular that is a larger body that is sort of hollowed out. That's sort of the ribs are like kind of open. And it's not actual bone, again, it is all coral, but it's like a coral clay mask was made around a person, and then somehow the person phased out of it, leaving the shell behind, and that shell was peeled open so that a person could lay inside it. And the meta knowledge is that this was his master, this was his teacher. And he will go to where his teacher was, and you'll see very distinctly that the arms are missing. So it's just the torso and the head that are open. And he will hunker down in that, and he'll actually lay down like on his back inside that hollow body. And he'll take the swords out and he'll lay them down next to him where the arms would be. And you see that it's the same coral. And you can see that that bone is similar. And as he lays there, kind of becoming one with it, it might even all like half close around him slightly, but not all the way. And as he closes his eyes to sleep, he says once again, I must trust your judgment. The dead will sleep this night. And if not this night, then the next. Forever thereafter.
As you drift off, you hear Marius once again in the back of your head. In the morn, you must go back to the dry land. There are things to be attended to. And I think you fall asleep.
Yeah,
now we
he
cut
sleeps
back
there.
to the rest of the crew, Calanthe. You're checking on Chadney and Kyleson. Bene and Marius, what do you guys want to do during? Bene, two of your mentors have seemingly been kidnapped.
Yeah, they're gone. So Benny's kind of just like, well, I'm just here to help you guys. Benny looks to Marius and he's just like, so your folks aren't on this island, aren't they? They're not, right?
No. Thank goodness, apparently.
Yeah, so you're fine. And Calanthe, like, I'm sure your guys are fine too.
Oh, she running.
She running? Okay.
She running.
We're gonna hit that. John, really quick, we haven't talked about Benny's parents. In my mind, I was thinking they probably moved to the port of Vushan at some point.
Sure.
And you just stayed on the island. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, perfect. So yeah, Calanthe is running.
He still lives in their house.
Yeah. You got to keep the house. They just moved out.
He's still in the house.
Hell yeah.
You and the boys stay in a room above your shop, right? Like you have different rooms, but it's like apartments above your shop. Is that right? Or do you have a separate house?
Yeah, I think it's I don't think Calanthe loves her job enough to live above it.
Fair.
So I
Who
think
does?
she. I mean, some people.
The Bob's
Yeah.
Burgers family.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I think she has a separate house. It's like a little. It's a 2-story, but it's little.
Gotcha.
All the rooms are very small.
Do they stay there with you?
Yes.
Okay, I think you live pretty near your shop, so you know
Mhm.
you follow the familiar road to your shop and then back to your apartments. You enter. Do they sleep in the same room or do they sleep in different rooms?
Oh.
It's very cute.
I think they do sleep in the same room,
Hmm.
but there is an empty room that's perpetually made up for if any one of us brings someone home, so everyone could have one room per. But I definitely
It's that
sleep.
big brain living situation.
Yeah. Because it happens kind of often, but
But you
yeah.
you
Sorry,
enter. You see Kyleson in bed. Chadney's bed is empty.
And Carlson is sleepy deepy.
Yeah, he's sleepy deepy.
Okay, wake him the fuck up.
Captain, what's up? What's going on?
Where is he? Where is he?
What? Oh, he hasn't come back yet? We were like, we spent a lot of the night, we got like really drunk. And we spent a lot of the night, like looking to see if we could find where Sammy Seamwise was. And I was like just too turnt at one point and had to like dip back here. But he kind of just kept looking. I don't know what happened to him.
Calanthe will bring him into a very tight hug and cradle his head. Be like, no. Okay.
What's going on? Is he okay?
I mean, he better be. Otherwise, I'm going to kill him. But I have to go. You go back to bed. Don't open the door for anyone.
Not Marius. Kyleson looks out the window. He's like, where did all that fog come from? Why is it like that far away and like just staying there? That's weird. He goes back to sleep. Wait, did you tell him to come with you or did you tell him to stay there?
I told him to stay.
He goes back to sleep.
Because if something happens to him, we'll know where he last was.
It's true. But you know, it's not like Desmond's house where there was clearly like a struggle in the room.
Mhm.
He just probably didn't come home.
Okay, so I think Calanthe will let you in to the opening, the foyer, the teeny tiny foyer, and like she goes upstairs, stomp, talk, stomp, and just goes back out the door to look for Chadney.
You head out to look for Chadney. I'm gonna say you look until the sun rises and you don't find anything. Marius and Bene, do you think you guys hunker down at this point and go to sleep? Do you keep staying up?
Bene looks to Marius and he's like, well, I've done all I could today. And honestly, me not sleeping isn't going to bring them back. So I'm going to go to sleep. Marius, you're more than welcome to crash at my place. Have quite a few rooms. But, you know, if you don't want to, that's perfectly okay too.
I'll take you up on that offer. Absolutely.
Dope. Few ground rules. Okay. Number 1, don't touch my juice. It is clearly labeled. No. There are other juices in there that you are allowed to drink, but if they have a B on them,
what's in the juice?
Okay. Understood.
That's pretty much my only rule. So
Oh,
yeah, so you're more than welcome to come.
thank you.
And then I like lead us back to my house.
You guys have a very comfortable sleep for a few hours. Calanthe, do you eventually kind of go back home and fall asleep?
Yeah, I think Calanthe, she searches the island top to bottom, every inn, every spare room that she knows like islanders have that they could. It's very weird that if Chadney was hanging out with this woman, that he wouldn't bring her home, because we have a whole room for that. So she's searching and searching and searching, and when she realizes the sun is up, like it hits her that like they have fully done all of this in the course of one night. She hates that she has to give up, but she knows that, like Bene said, like she can't be any helpful if she's like dead on her feet. So she'll go back to Kyleson and crawl into bed with him and just like cry herself to sleep.
He holds you as you cry.
And she'll be like, I can't find him. I don't know where he is. And then just keep saying that over and over again until she passes out.
Brutal. Man. So you guys find yourself to sleep all at various times. What time do you guys wake up?
Elves only need, is it 3 or 6 hours?
I think it's 4.
4?
Yeah.
The elf
short
trance?
rest or a long? Oh, for
long,
elf trance?
because the elves have the weird elf trance where they don't fully need to sleep as long.
Yeah. You got
need
home,
to
I think,
meditate
first. Oh yeah, the meditation thing. That's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's 4.
I think it's 4, if I remember. This is sort of depends on what you count as a long rest, because some DMs will be like 6 to 8, and some DMs will be like 8.
I'm gonna fuck you guys over pretty hard later in this session, so I'm not gonna give you a point of exhaustion from the jump and not let you have a long rest. So
It's 4 hours, by the way.
4 hours. Okay.
Thank you.
I double checked.
So at this point, I'm gonna say that you guys got a long rest,
Okay.
or at least maybe not within the actual time span, but you get whatever stats you have back and all that jazz.
Cool.
But again, what time do you guys wake up?
Benny's going to sleep the full 8.
Okay, so you probably wake up at noon if you came back at about 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. What about you, Marius? Do you stay asleep as long as Benny does?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm tuckered out, bro. After a long day of fighting and partying and festivaling. Absolutely.
Calanthe definitely wakes up a little later than usual, so probably around maybe 2 or 3
p.m. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if you make it that full way.
Then
Qell.
I'm gonna take that tight elven 4. So
okay.
With that, I'm thinking that brings him up way earlier than everyone else. Probably.
He's probably up at 8. I think you probably get delayed by the rest of the Council of the Coral Keep for maybe like an hour, but you're still
That's what I was
way
thinking.
Before everyone else.
Early enough to like check on Fanti and like go to the council and essentially like we don't need to like make a whole scene of it, but he definitely goes there specifically to tell them like, look, Guardios bid me look into this and you will do nothing. You will do nothing until I report back.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're not
He's
super pleased about that, but they I think Guardios also intercedes and is like, that's what I told him to do.
Right.
Chill.
Guys, chill. And yeah, so you get there at about probably 9:30, 10ish.
Okay.
Already a quiet panic has descended upon the whole tourism district. You see Qell Carrington, the assistant dockmaster, who's Benny's friend, trying to block people from going to the dock, like visitors. They're like, I had a tour planned. I'm supposed to do this. I was going to go fishing. And he goes, we just can't do that today. You know, the weather conditions are poor, very poor. I'm sure there were lots of other things for you to do on the island. You see a lot of the shop owners come up to you, are like, you're an authority figure. We I think specifically this farmer comes up to you. Her name is yeah, her name is Alicia Windlorn, who is actually, instead of she's not a farmer, she is the head chef of the Set Course, which is a restaurant here. She comes up to you and goes, hey there, Qell. Look, weird stuff is happening. Weird stuff all over. She's this little halfling woman and dressed very well, dressed like a chef. Look, all the water, the drinking water, is coming out as black sludge, just like unedible, undrinkable black sludge. There's other stuff going on. Akil's master, Laszlo Middlewith, who runs the dock, went into the fog, hasn't come back. We don't know what happened to him. We don't know what to do. The mayor and Terrell are gone. What do we do? There's hundreds of people here.
Qell tries to give the reassuring All Might smile as best as he can, but something is shaken. And when he puts it on, you can almost hear it creak,
Ooh,
and
that description, shit, are you a writer?
So when he looks down at her, not looks down at her, but she'd be short.
Yeah, she'd be short.
He says, I assure you, we will find out what is happening here and put a stop to it as swiftly and carefully as we possibly can.
She looks reassured. You guys have a relationship. She's a main tourism person. She probably lets you come into a restaurant and eat sometimes. She knows you. She gives you a smile back and says, I guess I'm gonna go try to prepare some comped meals for our visitors who cannot do what they were looking forward to doing today. Qell, do you go seek out everyone? Because I think people are stopping you all the way along.
That's kind of the thing, is like ordinarily in this situation, he would be trying to walk around and be a reassuring presence and smile at everyone and be like, I am here. But like in this moment, he's finding it difficult.
Gotcha.
And he doesn't know what to do with that, but he knows that his primary goal right now is he is trying to find out where Marius is.
Oh, gotcha.
At least Marius. He probably, actually, no, it might be Bene. He might be looking for Bene.
I think, okay, you come up to Benny's house as Captain Yasli Nuzu is knocking on the door frantically, trying to wake Bene up, who she knows is a light sleeper. She goes, Bene! Do you do anything?
Who, me or
yeah, you,
Qell?
Bene.
Oh, Bene just yells, I'm not home.
I answer the door.
Oh, I'm not sure if we've fully met yet. I am Captain Yasli Nuzu.
Hi,
yeah.
I'm Marius.
Yeah,
Nice
it's
to
really
meet you.
nice to meet you. very awkward encounter. She's not a very personable woman.
He let me stay here. I don't live on the island.
Oh, right, you're the reporter. Yes, okay, yes.
Right.
It's just my two friends who, sometimes have a romantic thing, sometimes don't. They went home together last night, and now they're gone. And I don't know where they are. And everything seems to be going wrong in the town. There's a fog that just goes around the town. And I guess Bene is where I thought to go.
Right.
She says all that, and Benny comes downstairs, and he's just like, Gasly, do you want a good review or not? Like, that's what's up? What are you doing here?
Terrell and Calamine are both gone. I don't know where they went. I went to Terrell's house or Calamine's house, and it just looks absolutely destroyed. I don't know what got to them. There's these weird track marks all over the island. I don't know where they came from. What did we do?
Benny looks at her and he's like, to be honest with you, I don't know, but I haven't had breakfast yet. So I kind of don't really, I can't really give any sort of good advice until I've eaten. I've had a long night,
Marius
so
is
maybe
already making eggs. In the
but he's just like, okay, so Yazli, you head to the dock. You just calm down, everyone. I will be there very shortly.
Well, and I think Qell comes up actually at this moment as well. Actually, hi Qell. It's good to see you. I think we're having an office at the town hall in we're having a meeting at the town hall in the mayor's office with all the big tourism people in about like an hour. So if you could be there so we could kind of figure this out, that'd be great.
You said in an hour?
Yeah,
We will.
I just don't know. I have some things going on, with whole Terrell being gone,
Okay, I'll see you there. Bye. She runs away.
He goes, then he looks at Qell and Marius and just goes, I'm not going. You think she would know me by now? I'm not going. And he looks to Qell and he's like, what up, my dude? You want some breakfast?
I'm making eggs.
Marius is making eggs.
I've already made one, and
He and Benny looks to Qell and he's like, you are humbly invited, sir. He goes, I got you. He's like, come on in.
He'll walk in and close the door behind him. I think you'll probably notice that when he reaches out to close the door, the hand is very deliberately bandaged so that you can't see the spot, because he doesn't want anybody seeing that. So he closes the door and he'll walk in and he'll probably sit in the first chair he sees.
Okay.
What's the vibe of Benny's house?
Benny's house is very much like, I would, in my mind, I see it as like a very, if a tree house, but it's like on a mountain and it's very, very nice. It's like on the outside, it kind of just looks like a little kind of like little shack or what, not shack, but it's
a little bungalow.
Yeah, but it's like one of those, like, if you go on Pinterest and you type like forest home treehouse and those like really nice ones that are like what's that dude Lloyd Webber Wright or whatever, the architect,
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah,
Andrew Lloyd Webber. I don't know.
No, I think I'm confusing.
Frank Lloyd Wright is correct. Sam crushed that.
Yeah. It's one of those designed by him. So it's a very nice inside home. It looks very much like his parents spent a lot of time putting it together and cleaning up after Bene.
Actually, last week, Architectural Digest just came through and they did a little piece on it. It's gonna be up
absolutely.
later.
Like it's a very, very like most times when Benny's like, oh, like come to my house, they think like it's gonna be like a shit shack, and then they're like surprised, like, bitch, you live like this? like what? So yeah, it's a very nice home, and like when Qell sits down, he probably is sitting next to like a very like a glass coffee table with like a bunch of magazines and things like that on there.
Is Calanthe here?
No. I didn't get to invite her, but I think she went home to see if her dudes are home. So we haven't seen her, so she's probably doing all right.
I think we should try to summon her here sooner rather than later. I believe the four of us need to have a conversation before this town meeting.
Things like, what do you want to talk about? Like,
he'll just kind of smack his hand just above gently on whatever nightstand is next to him, and then turn the palm up, still covered, but then he'll clench his fist. People out there are searching for the answers to these things, and we have more than anyone, which admittedly is still very little, but they are going to want to know, and it is our responsibility as those who fought this force to parse out what to reveal. You and I specifically, and he is looking at Bene. Loath as I may be to admit it, have something in common, and that is how we are seen on this island. The difference is that how would you say it, embrace these facts to reassure people that they have hope to fight the monsters that come to their shores. But it seems as though time and again you reject this, or have people believe that you are not interested in their best interests. But I have seen better. I have seen you take up arms. I have seen you, despite your protests, join the fight when the fight calls.
Benny just looks and is like, I assure you, I love my people, but you haven't seen my bed. It is quite nice. And honestly, it seems like every time I go to get a drink or something, it's like, Benny, go to work. Benny, we're being attacked. Benny, everyone's being kidnapped from the island. And it's just like, when will it be my turn to, just relax?
And I think with that, does Marius have anything to say to that?
No, just
okay.
Hashtag self-care goals.
True. Very real.
And Bene like looks to Qell, and he's just like, man, like, look, maybe if you didn't carry around the weight of other people's problems, you'd be better to just focus on the things going on in your life, and it's like, we're all here to help people, but at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes you just got to focus on you. And sometimes you can't help other people if you aren't, 100% yourself, So
there is no 100% myself.
Benny,
We are all-
Benny gives him a hug.
And with that,
He'll just stop. Yeah.
we cut over to Calanthe. I think that Kyleson probably gets up because he's had like a full night's sleep. So I think that might shake you awake a little bit as he's kind of getting ready to go about the day. Looks outside, he's like, things look like really fucked up outside. Like, doesn't look like anyone's having a good time. And but he picks up a spyglass off of a side table and he kind of holds it up to his eye and he looks like, okay, I may be like crazy, but that fog is getting closer, I swear.
I think Calanthe will pretty much give him the lowdown of what happened last night. And we just sort of see a shot of her pulling his forehead to hers and showing him the spot and being like, you know what this means? Potentially.
No, but you're not a traitor. You're not a bad leader. You're the best captain we've ever had.
I will bring Chadney home. If he doesn't come home himself, I promise.
Okay.
I'm gonna fix it. And I'm gonna make this go away. And then it'll be fine.
He starts crying. Okay. I'm gonna go help out downstairs. He goes. Do you go downstairs? Do you like get freshened up and go downstairs as well?
Yeah, but very slowly.
Okay, gotcha.
I won't reveal why it takes so long until someone witnesses it yet, but it has to do with part of the sort of choosing the spells of the day process. But yeah, she's definitely taking her time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Definitely like wiping the tears away, putting the ointment on her scar, cleaning the eye patch, and then putting it back on her scar, that kind of thing.
You hear a knock at the door after a while. Do you answer
it? Here's something I just thought of.
Ooh.
Because they have the foresight to have stuff ready for if people come over. I think they also have the foresight for their days off when they're too lazy to get out of bed. And I think if you look up along and the ceiling and along the sides of the walls, there's this intricate pulley system that leads to each room that they can open the door, or at least unlock the door from each bedroom. So she just pulls and the door sort of open.
When Benny saw that for the first time, was he just like shocked, John?
He was like, how do I get one of those?
Yeah, like, I need one.
So the door, you hear the door open downstairs, and you hear a voice call up, hello, it's Celestina Yellgas. And you know Celestina Yellgas is a Furbolg woman who owns the Sea Salt Sawmill, which is a sawmill that operates in the kind of mountainous area and provides most of the lumber for the island. Well, I just wanted to let you know that we're going to be having a little powwow in the mayor's office in about 40 minutes. So if you want to swing on by, that would be great. Actually, sorry, it's more like 50 minutes to an hour. But there's some crazy stuff going on.
Is Carlson still here in the house?
I think he probably
Just downstairs.
left.
Okay.
I mean, if he could be downstairs, he's on his way out the door, certainly.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely don't think Calanthe would answer her.
Yeah.
But
then Kyle goes like, "Oh yeah, we'll be there, definitely, for sure." And so, Benny, Marius, and Qell, do you guys go looking for Calanthe, or do you just end up going to the meeting?
Qell
Benny,
is
Benny said he didn't want to go
set
to the meeting.
on. Qell is set on having a conversation between the four of us before we go there.
Okay.
So if nobody else agrees to go find her, he definitely will.
Okay.
Are there phones in this world?
Not yet. We're right at the Industrial Revolution.
We're
There's
pre-phone.
plans
Pre-phone.
for later campaigns, which will be in a more modern setting in the same world, but
Love
not
it.
right now.
Because I wonder if there is some sort of mode of like talking to folks
Feel
from
like.
houses.
Do you feel like this feels like Benny's vibe? Do you think Benny would have like a carrier parrot
Oh,
to send messages around the island?
yes.
Okay, yeah. What's its
I
name
want.
or her name?
I mean, listen. I'm gonna.
Look up parrot
I'm
names.
No. His name. I gotta think of a parrot pun. What's the name of the parrot from Fruit Loops? Or
Does he have a name?
Toucan Sam?
Fruity
Toucan Sam.
bird.
Oh, he's a
Toucan.
toucan. He's
Yeah.
not a
Fruit Loop
parrot.
bird.
Fruit Loop.
Yeah.
Honestly, Fruit Loop is a good name for a parrot.
Yeah. Or fruit by the foot.
That's excellent.
Root by the foot. The first thing that pops out to me is Bentley.
Bentley. Benny and Bentley.
Benny and Bentley, the pair, the two, the duo.
The duo.
Yeah, Bentley. I write a little letter to Calanthe and I say, Qell has rudely interrupted my breakfast and is insisting on us having a meeting. So, it's like written out. So, if you could come over and like intercept this would be great.
I thought you were saying this to the parrot after having already written the note.
Yes.
So, in my mind, the parrot does cast Qell a shady look before he flies off.
I audibly say it. Qell knows.
Good.
Qell is understanding what I'm saying.
Oh, it's so good. Okay.
And then I turn to Qell and I just go, so how about that breakfast? Marius, how are we looking on breakfast?
I've made eggs for everybody.
Thank you.
They're really
so
fancy.
Much,
Yeah.
The whole spiel.
I think my boy likes eggs.
Marius is a chef.
Don't have chickens underwater.
Yeah, it's like a rare luxury.
Yeah, tuna is the chicken of the sea.
That's what they say.
Your creature's eggs are so large and they don't explode.
Modern technology. It's amazing what we can do these days with eggs.
The Sasuke and Naruto energy between Benny and Qell is so good. So Calanthe, you get the parrot. He shows up, which I think is not uncommon. Benny will send you missives every once in a while. Do you just immediately head over there?
Yeah. I think she'll carry Bentley on her arm. I think they're bros enough.
Hell yeah.
Bentley loves you.
Yeah,
I
Bentley
think-
probably just even climbs up on your shoulder and just hangs out.
Yes, the pirate aesthetic. I think Calanthe will wear fingerless gloves too.
Ooh,
to cover
nice.
the spot.
Okay. Gotcha. So you head over there. You know where Benny's house is. You've been there many times, just hanging out and partying. And you arrive, and now you guys are all assembled in Benny's kitchen, eating some good brekkie provided by Marius.
It's obvious that Calanthe has been crying.
Oh, brutal.
Aw, Benny's like, how you holding up?
How do you think?
Coffee? Coffee.
Flicks her eyes over to Qell.
I
Takes the coffee,
know.
not looking at him.
We all have our reactions and responsibilities based on what occurred, but I feel I know it is important for us to have this conversation before we make any statements to the rest of the people of this town. Before this town meeting, I believe we should agree on what it is we are going to say. Would you agree with this?
Yes.
Be good to have same idea of what exactly is going on.
I ain't seen nothing. I ain't saying nothing. I don't know nothing. That's our story, guys.
I do not particularly thrive working with others. I tend to be faster, quieter, and more efficient on my own. And last night did, well, at first little to convince me otherwise. However, the effect on both of our peoples prompted me to re-examine the events, and I have come to the conclusion that I cannot face whatever this is alone. I may not agree with some of your methods. However, you are all very capable. And like it or not, we four are the ones who have faced this already. I do not know if we were chosen, but such is the way. And from this point, we can either proceed together or fail.
Oh, Bene.
Well, it sounds like I'm being patronizing because no one else joined in, but I thought it was a good speech.
I think that was a good speech. In any way that you need my help, you'll have it.
I too agree. Yeah.
Well, I'm the only one who can talk to the damn whatever it is, so you need me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Perfect. Did any of you have anything else to say, Benny?
So as Qell kind of like wraps it up, and we're all kind of just sitting there like basking in the yes.
Mhm.
I just look to Calanthe and I just go, so how we feeling about daiquiris for the road? How we feeling on that? I mean, we have to sit through this meeting. Why they did not say we had to be sober to do this? So how we do it? How we feeling? Martinis? What we feeling before we hit the road?
I think it might be unwise for us to appear intoxicated in front of people at this time.
Oh, I'm good at hiding that I'm drunk. They won't even know.
I think some of us might be more accustomed than others to being a symbol of hope and reassurance. I would like to raise this point to the group that you would be comfortable in this role. And he does look at Calanthe very pointedly in that moment.
There's something different about her now. And it's not the fact that she's just not firing off back at you, but there's the vibe is changed. And I think she's just here, sitting here, listening, taking everything in, because we're not doing something right now. We're not going to the meeting, you know. So she's just essentially just waiting and just letting
Yeah.
everyone talk. That's my excuse because I did space out and didn't hear the last part of what you said.
Yeah, he'll note that silence and he'll say again, like, we need to be a symbol of reassurance for them so that we do not fall into chaos, into fear. Fear makes people stupid. So we must appear as though we can handle this.
Okay,
I
so
think
what's
we
our
can.
story? Oh, sorry.
Oh, that is a good question. What is our story?
I say we wait. We bide our time in the conversation and see what everyone knows.
Mm.
We see how many people know about the door, what it potentially means, if they know what it says on it.
Mhm.
No need to cause panic by over sharing.
In this scenario, I would agree. And I think that goes for this as well. We cannot appear weak at this time.
Awesome.
Cool.
So, sorry, go ahead, Benny.
No, Ben's just like, all right, sounds good to me.
Well, we do not have to like this or like each other. But for the sake of at least one more day, perhaps we can pretend.
Well, I like you guys. I don't.
Yeah, what the fuck, Qell?
Kings.
He'll he'll clap the lad on the back pretty hard, and he goes, "I like you as well."
Clap the lad on the back. We love to see it. So you guys head over to the meeting. For the sake of brevity, I'm gonna condense and truncate some of the information that you get. We're not gonna do the whole scene. But so essentially, Qell starts off. You guys all meet up in the town hall. All of the major business people are here. And it's so crowded that people even have to kind of like lean through windows to hear what's going on and all that jazz. Qell announces that so there are about 10 people missing. I don't quite know what happened. Obviously, I don't know what happened to them, but currently we are unable to account for Terrell Lightfall, Mayor Carmine Desmond, Calamine, whatever he wants to be called, Chadney, Avast Scuttle, Preacher Bluebond, Bryson Beneford, Sammy Scenewise, who is the only visitor that we are currently missing, Shoebuckle, the gentleman who took up residence in the jail, essentially, and 2 of the lost men. And we are missing extremely small Timothy and the last Michael. And you know the last Michael is their leader. And people start expressing having seen weird things around the island. So Qell goes, so another person that's missing is my boss, Laszlo Middlewith. And I went out on a boat. He just, he goes out in the morning to check traps. He went out today. It was in the fog, and he hasn't come back. He lost his hearing in the war because he was on cannons, and so I went out there and I heard this crashing noise behind the fog, so I didn't go there. But he probably didn't hear that, and I found the prow of his little dinghy clean cut off. And as I went around and was near Guardio's, there was something pressing against the fog, like a sheet pulled taut and someone's trying to like press through. it was large, and I don't know what it was. On my way around, I also saw something on the back dock and the back beach. There's a door in the ground. He tells everyone what the poem says. And they kind of go around, and a bunch of different business people express having seen various things. So Celestina Yelgas, who runs the sawmill, goes, yeah, well, about like every like once a week or so, I'll bring, of all the vast scuttle up at Lost Wind Lighthouse, like some eggs or some fruit, just to make sure he's getting his nutrition. I went up there today, and the door was locked, and where the light should be, emitting from above, or at least you should be able to see through the glass, it was all dark and like sludgy. I don't really know what it was. I knocked on the door to try to get his attention, and he didn't come forward. So I heard something behind the door, but I don't quite know what it was. One of the lost men speaks up, who you know as Quincy Quag. And he goes, Marius, you saw the lost men around the festival yesterday. Everyone here is used to them, but they're, again, these old pirates who are cursed to look like children forever. When you see them from afar, it's like Sandlot vibes. It's super fun. And then you get closer and it's like, no, this is weird. I don't like this. So Quincy speaks up and he's like, yeah, like in the fort back where we live, it just looks fucked up. Like, it just looks fucked up. I don't know what it is, but it smells like worse than it usually does in the marsh. And there's another one of the lost men near him called Yanni John, and he goes, oh yeah, it's like everything feels closer. And again, Alicia Winlauren speaks up and brings up the fact that black sludge is coming out of where she gets her normally fresh water from. One of the farmers in the area, Caius Dropmore, also relates that. Yeah, well, I went to get some water from the well today, and yeah, it came up with this black sludge. He brings out a bucket and puts it onto one of the tables, and you see the black sludge that's been all over everything, that viscous, slightly luminous and shimmering garbage water. I don't know what, it's gross. It's unnatural and unreal. Two more pieces of information. One, Madame Merriweather, who is an older tabaxi woman who runs the Crow's Rest Bed and Breakfast, offers up, given in the absence of our lovely mayor, would it be prudent to appoint somebody else to run the shop and to give direction, as we are deprived of Mayor Desmond? And Zaria Kismet, the mayor's assistant, speaks up and says, oh, forget how to do an old person voice. Whatever. Well, she's just super old. She's so old. Oh, well, Kelman always said that if anything went wrong and he wasn't able to hack this mayor, Yasli Nuzu should take charge because, she knows everyone on the island. And Yasli immediately cuts her off and goes, oh, no, I don't think that's, but it's her worst nightmare is being confirmed because everyone around the room is nodding and is like, yeah, that makes sense. She looks over at Bene and is like, I guess I suppose I could be in charge. And finally everyone is like, well, what, how did any of this happen? Where did these curses come from? Alicia Windlorn is like, I only have enough fresh water to get us through the evening, and then our visitors are going to be very unhappy and very dehydrated, and it's going to be a bad situation. Everyone's just like, where did this come from?
You're looking at me. All right. So Qell will walk. He'll stand up,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll address everyone with kind of a somber smile. He says, "My friends, my neighbors, myself and 3 companions. One is a known protector of this land. Bene, we were appointed by the mayor to face creatures that were menacing closer to the coast, and we fought them, but once they were defeated, we found them to be mindless, filled with this black sludge, not unlike what you have described. And then last night on patrol, we encountered something else." And he'll look back to the group to kind of wordlessly make sure that this is okay.
Calanthe will nod.
There was a ship on the horizon. It floated above the water, was no longer of this life. And when it made birth upon the shore, we boarded and found, I'm searching for the word here, undead.
Benny just like, it was a ghost boat. To put it in layman's terms, as my friend here is trying to say, it was a ghost boat, and not the weirdest thing we've seen on this island. Am I right, guys?
Side look, murmur.
Might be
Yeah.
might be the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Benny's just like, I mean, listen, we all know weird things happen on the island, but it's cool. Like, we will find out what is going on, and everything will be just great.
But Qell speaks up, not to Benny. I trust you. I just it mentioned those with the black spot as the only people who could get rid of the curses, which I assume all the things that are happening are curses. Do you each have the black spot?
We
Qell,
know. No, sorry.
I never thought you would ask me something like that.
I just want to make sure that we're sending the right people in,
I just feel maybe we don't say out loud who are the folks with the black spots, as they may be the next ones attacked. So maybe whomever these folks are who have the black spots, as cool as they may be, probably we should not say out loud who they are. You know what I mean?
Kais Dropmore, the farmer, cuts in. This big hulking elven guy. Well, because black spots are usually given to deposed leaders and traitors. Now, if these people are the only ones who can put this island back to rights, then I think it'd be best if they revealed themselves so that they can earn the trust of those that they have possibly betrayed.
With respect, sir, I do not believe this to be so. There is no mark, no spot, no marking of legend that will earn trust more than action. I can tell you nothing of a spot, but I can tell you of this. Your protectors have beaten back every monster, every usurper, every pirate, every villain that has ever shadowed your shores, and will continue to do so the next day and the next and forever. This is what earns trust. This is what will determine what heroes will prevail and what villainy, what black slime will be crawling back from whence it came. Not some mark, but us. We are what you trust, because you put your trust in us, and we will protect you. On this, I swear.
But what he said,
Those are fond words about trust and all, but let's just say, back at the well over in the farming land, it's obviously filled up with black sludge. I tried to put my hand in it to see what it felt like, and I couldn't pass through it. Only my bucket could. So if you each are able to pass through it, I think we will know who are the ones carrying the traitor's spot.
Are you
But
calling your bucket a traitor?
calling
What
my
are you
bucket
saying?
an inanimate object that can't cause any harm to anything that might be below that black sludge. But
Don't you have like some chickens to catch or like count or whatever the fuck you farmers do? Like, I feel like you sitting here talking about motherfucking black spots and all this shit. There's people missing. And I feel it's high time we look for these people rather than sitting around talking all this dumb shit. Ain't that right, Marius? See,
Bene,
he gets it.
you
A
may
real smile comes back for Qell now.
Yeah.
Pleasant
May-
surprise as he looks at Benny.
you may feel capable of talking your way out of most situations, but this island's about to run out of water, and I think to get it back, those who I guess opened this door must again, as I said, set it to rights. So from here, I think we all head out. Not all of us. I will lead you to the farming district. Everyone else here should probably take care of what is pressing to keep these visitors happy and alive.
Send them home. Cut our
I
losses now.
Qell,
Yes, tourism is our economy, but we still have to live here after this.
Qell speaks up. I don't think they can go home. I think they have to. I think the fog it's a kind of like a wall. Like you die if you go past the fog. At least I don't know why Laszlo would not have come back if not for that.
Fine. Then keep them inside. Make sure they don't exert any energy so they don't have to drink more.
Okay.
Only islanders do work right now.
Yes, of course. So the meeting kind of adjourns, and I think Caius waits by the door, ready to lead you guys to the well.
Before we leave, I go up to Yazli and I'm just like, so like you're like interim mayor, correct?
It's looking like it.
So what does that make me?
Benny, I guess that makes you assistant mayor.
Okay, cool. As first ruling as assistant mayor, can we like drown what's his name? The farmer?
Caius Dropmore.
Caius, yeah, like can we just like drown him? Like I don't like his energy.
Benny, she slaps you on the arm. Stop it.
He offends me.
You've got a job to do. I don't know what you got up to. I don't know what the four of you are involved in, but we're in danger. This is not good. As someone who has been to a war, I can tell you this is not a good situation.
Yeah, and homie over here talking about buckets and shit. Like what? Like, I'm just saying, Mayor, keep an eye out on him. Give me bad vibes.
Will do. Okay. Now go. Go off with him.
Can you make sure they spell my name right on my desk placard?
Yes, I'll get. I'll have Ms. Yelgas put together a placard for you. Is that great? Is that good?
You.
Okay. Goodbye.
You're the best.
When you turn around, Qell is standing like too close to you. Like you turn around like into his face, and he's smiling really big, like in your face, and he'll reach up and he'll put his hand like up in what he thinks is a friendly motion, like kind of up behind here, like this way, almost like he's gonna kiss you, but like he gets behind your neck and he goes, "That was good," and then he claps you on the shoulder.
It's like, well, buy me a drink first. And he's just like, you made me come here sober, so it is what it is.
Yeah, so you guys, I think you follow Caius Dropmore out to the farmland and come upon this well. It just looks like a normal farmer's well, made of stone, surrounding it with little patches of grass. The bucket is obviously missing because he took it, and as you walk up to it, you look down and just see that same thing you've been seeing all over.
Does it react if I speak primordial to it?
Sloshes around a little bit. Maybe even sloshes around enough that you see like a little blink of light from below. Put your hand in.
Bitch, put your hand in.
He tries to do so. He puts his hand down and it just comes up flat on the surface of the water. Very much like
cornstarch.
The flat surface. Or like cornstarch. Or like the flat surface of the water in the little extraplanar realm you guys went to. Is anyone brave enough to try it?
Marius just puts his hand in.
Just feels like ocean water.
Can't stop you. Yep.
Just feels like ocean water.
Feels normal.
My
hand out.
Caius goes, does someone want to try to look in?
I don't think I'm that bold.
I am.
Fair, you are a visitor. Qell.
Calanthe will hold on to, like when she did very pissed offedly, will grab the back of his straps just to hold him in case it wants to pull him in.
He'll stop because you tried to stop him last time. And he'll stop for a moment and he'll look over, cock a lack of eyebrow at you. Like, are you trying to stop me right now? And then he'll realize that you're not. He'll apple dunk.
So you apple dunk your head in. Perfect. You see a circle of light at the bottom of this well.
Oh.
It looks like it leads somewhere. Do you want to try to put the rest of your body in it?
Can I do like an Arcana check or something on that?
Yeah.
Can he breathe it?
Yeah.
Can I breathe it?
You can. It breathes like seawater.
My Arcana is not great, but
no worries.
Yeah.
Can I give him a help action?
You can. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you.
Oh, is that
a help
advantage?
Yeah, advantage. Yeah.
Oh well, that is better. Okay, that's a 19.
Hey, perfect. Arcana check. You gotta go into this well. You can feel that. There is another kind of magical extraplanar realm that is at the bottom of this well. It feels very similar to what you experienced last night on the ship.
So this is not necessarily anything that I'm seeing it and I'm like, based on my knowledge of magic, this is a door. It's like a weird sensation of I just know that that's what it is.
Yeah, you just know that's what it is.
Okay. I'll come back up.
Okay.
There is a force down there, something that calls. It is a door.
I'll stick my head in.
You see the same thing. You see a hole at the bottom of the well. I think if you left your head in there for a little bit longer, it would you would see something glinting and almost reflective.
In Primordial, I'll ask, are ye inviting us in?
You hear the sound. You hear the deepest, oldest voice you've ever heard. Yes.
Take my head out. Shake my braids. I mean, it said to come in. Whether we should or not is the question, if that would be wise, but it does want us.
Benny just looks to the farmer dude. It's just like, okay, we'll go in. Doesn't mean you're right though.
So do you guys have like a rope handy that you want to tie up to the side of the well or something?
Yeah, we got adventuring kits and stuff.
Yeah.
So you tie this rope up. Caius nods at you and says, I may have to go attend to other things, but I will check back to see when you return.
I think that he's the last person to see us before we potentially die.
I hate him.
Everyone knew that you were coming here, though, so they knew who to blame if you just fully disappear off the map.
That's fair.
We're the protagonists. We're not gonna die.
You got that plot armor.
Yeah. This is D&D. You can't kill us. Duh.
You don't die in a game. What?
You only die in real life. So you tie a rope up to like a tree or the side of the well, and each of you, one after the other, descends into darkness. And that is where we are going to cut for this part of episode 2 of Below the Shoreline. But for now, beware of what lurks below the shoreline. Bye.